All right, so Cardinals go to San Francisco, take on the 49ers. 49ers have a little bit of fight in them. For a team that's struggling this year, they came out, they kind of came back in the game against Seattle last week. That's the best way that I can spin this game to be competitive. Cardinals are 6th against the run, 8th against the pass. The 49ers are 27th against both. Palmer's on fire.
Yeah.
I love Chris Johnson in this game.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yep.
Ranked him very high, probably way higher than you guys.
Probably.
I doubt it. I think I really like Chris Johnson in this game as well. He looked good last week.
Nope, don't doubt it. You guys have him at 24 and 15. I have him at 3.
What?
I have Chris Johnson at 3 in this game. I think it's a Chris Johnson high workload, high production type of game. They just gave up 209 on the ground to Thomas Rawls last week.
Yeah, I don't at all. The logic, I think, is pretty sound. What it comes down to me is touchdowns, and I just think that the touchdowns will go to Palmer. Bruce Arians, if people are concerned at all, maybe the Cardinals are going to not full throttle this entire game. They will, and I like Palmer. He's either my number 1 or my number 2 quarterback this week. He is a must play over basically all other options. And the same can be said for Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's going to have a monster game. Him and Brown. Brown who looks healthier. So let's talk about John Brown. How are you guys feeling about him coming off of his hamstring injury? He got more involved because anything over a 0 is more involved.
I'm feeling a lot better about him. He got involved. They had 2 end-arounds to him. He got rushes. He seemed to be running well. It's a confidence booster. I think if Michael Floyd's back, then you know, I don't know if I'm starting John Brown.
Yeah, if
I think
Michael
Floyd is out,
I agree. That's what I was just going to bring up. I think if Floyd is out, John Brown has to step up a little bit more. This is a defense that's beatable, even in the screen game or the short game. So I'm fine with John Brown. I actually, when I was statting him out, I felt like I was giving him a little bit of love. He's 35th in my rankings, which I think is a little low for John Brown this week if Michael Floyd is out. On the other side of the ball, the Niners, can you start Shaun Draughn?
Yes. Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up.
Yep.
We talked about it a little bit, I believe, earlier in the week that if you could beat the Cardinals, it's passing to the running back, and Blaine Gabbert has found himself a favorite target in that offense
last game,
and that's Shaun Draughn.
Mike and I have him as a RB2. Jason just barely outside the RB2. That's where he should be, in the RB2 flex range. He gives you a baseline. If you're trying to throw somebody out there to win you the week, I'm not throwing Shaun Draughn.
No, but he's a guy. Everyone's been crushed by these injuries, and I would wager that Shaun Draughn is likely still on your waiver wire.
Yeah.
If you hadn't listened to the show where we told you to pick him up, and
he actually just got dropped in our league.
Really?
Today, somebody signed Bilal Powell and dropped Shaun Draughn.
Wow.
And paid $14 to do so.
I can understand.
If
that.
you're in a half
But
point,
I'd rather have Draughn.
Yeah, if you're
personally.
half point or full point PPR, that gives Draughn a boost up. He's all three of us are into RB2.
It was your opponent that did it too.
Oh, fantastic!
Also, I signed Spencer Ware for free in that league. I'm just kind of surprised. Maybe that was a dumb decision.
I would have, but my bench is so tight I can't make any moves.
Yeah,
they're so great.
Yeah, so, whatever. The Steel. Oh, by the way, update for that league, because we might as well sidebar because this is the eternal episode. I am now 7-4.
Oh.
I'm not sure how many people are still listening,
You
so they hear
started
this.
1-4.
I was 1-4. I'm 7-4. I've got 2 games left to secure a playoff spot, which is still I'm not sure about. I got 2 tough matchups, but I got Thomas Rawls now. I just signed Stevie Johnson today for a
Stevie
buck.
Johnson for a buck.
You are literally the team I want to play the least in our league on the March to Championship.
Oh, you don't say.
Well, with Thomas Rawls,
say.
I said yesterday, we were talking about this, and I said if the news comes out about Lynch that he's going to get surgery, you're the team I don't want to play.
You know what I'm really curious about is what Thomas Rawls does these next 2 weeks, because he has 2 brutal matches. I mean, on paper, Pittsburgh at Minnesota.
And last time Rawls had a tough matchup, he was just okay.
And if you can get him, well, that's kind of true. I mean, his tough matchup against Cincinnati ended up being a great game. So that was his last start. He had 29 points.
Okay, we'll talk. I'm going to look up what.
But his playoff schedule is great. It's Baltimore and Cleveland in the weeks 14 and 15.
Yeah, Baltimore is they're still a tougher run D, but the Cleveland matchup is just
That's a good point.
the best.
Juicy.
Detroit. I think Detroit is the one game I'm thinking of. He was 17 for 48, but you're right. Then the very next week he murdered Cincinnati.
All right. We've got 3 games left.
We could do it. We can do it.
All right. Steelers at the Seahawks. We've talked about a few of the pieces of this game. Big Ben, the start of the week for Jason. Russell Wilson, the sit of the week for Mike. Thomas Rawls, my start of the week. What are we going to see from D'Angelo Williams going against the Seattle defense that ranks 10th against the run?
I still like D'Angelo Williams. I just made a move for him in one of my leagues, and I know that on paper, when you're looking at his matchups, they look bad. However, I see D'Angelo Williams as that Le'Veon Bell light. He's not Le'Veon Bell, but because the Steelers' offense is so high-powered and the running back is a vital part of the engine that moves the offense, he's just going to be too involved. I don't really care about matchups for D'Angelo Williams. It's just how low of a running back one does he become because of the matchup? But he stays a 1 regardless for me.
Yeah, you really hope for early points in this game because this is going to be one of those. You have 2 good defenses. As weird as that is to say, the Steelers have been really good on defense after that first week, and so you've got 2 good defenses. It could be a low-scoring game. I expect them to beat the line on Vegas, and at the end of this game, kind of come back, be putting up more points. That tends to be the Steeler way. So I like most of the options in this game. I kind of want a piece of this game, but it does scare me a little bit in the sense that if it happens to be a defensive matchup.
Do you have any kind of feel on the Seattle roulette wide receiver?
Never.
Is there anyone?
Never. I will never have a feel. I mean that genuinely between Curse, Lockett, Baldwin, and Graham. I will never have a confidence to start any one of them, and one of them will have a great fantasy week every week.
Breaking news.
Jordan Reed is practicing.
Yes.
Rule 86.
He is practicing today, so
that is exciting.
You might be able to
news.
stick with him as your start
Thank
of the
you.
week. Other guys in this game, is there anybody, Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant?
Jason,
Yo.
would you start or sit Antonio Brown?
The matchup's rough.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's your about your 30, 31?
Yeah,
week?
he's probably very low for
I want
me.
to see where he actually
Antonio
is.
Brown for
He's
me
4.
is
He's
number
4.
4.
I
So
actually have him lower. I'm at 6.
there you go. You want to throw some shame on me?
Yep. All right. So the Seahawks, like we said, they averaged the most rushing yards per game. So that's a good thing for Mr. Thomas Rawls. They're also fighting for a playoff spot. So this should be a battle, like you said. Shouldn't see any weather issues. Patriots, Broncos, Sunday Night Football.
Oof.
Brock Osweiler, Tom Brady, the new
new look Patriots.
The new look Broncos too.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. I'm still glad that it's Sunday.
I don't
Night
think
Football.
Danny Amendola plays in this game.
Yeah,
He might.
Just
He
to
might.
to bear repeating of the Amendola news was the sprained knee. They don't think he will miss an extended period of time. He could miss this week. And to me, this week, if Danny Amendola does not play, you really have to think about moving Tom Brady down.
Yeah, and it's depressing.
Do
It's
you
tough
guys,
as
do
a
you
Brady
guys
owner.
agree with me? I feel like I'm here on an island of silence.
Here's the truth.
The Broncos are already a great pass defense.
I'm
Number one.
I'm going to be honest and say the absolute truth. The truth is we agree with you wholeheartedly, and neither one of us want to say bench Tom Brady because we don't want to go on record. We don't want to admit the truth that we don't.
You can't handle the truth.
Well, this is a Tom Brady who scored, 37 fantasy points against the Jets D when it was high flying.
Exactly.
They can do a different type of offense, and so I don't know.
So
I don't know what to expect.
This is my DeAndre Hopkins this week. I have him ranked as the 13th quarterback. Now,
and that is too far down the list.
Right. It probably is.
And I'd happily make you a top 10
I'm
bet.
not gonna
a top 10, not 12.
There is no way I am going to make a water bet against Tom Brady.
I will
Zero
take
chance.
it.
Whoa!
Water bet.
I love that.
Pretty good bet for you, Mike, because he's had 3 rough weeks, so we'll see.
Well, Tom Brady is Mike's number 9 quarterback.
Yeah,
this week.
but I haven't taken a bet yet, and
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
have another chance.
There you go.
Put it
There
in
you
the
go.
doc. Put it in the doc.
Love it.
Okay, so otherwise, LeGarrette Blount did what LeGarrette Blount does, which is to disappoint you frequently.
Yep.
Got the workload out there for snaps. Brandon Bolden took some when Blount wasn't productive. You see this. If Blount has like 3 or 4 carries in a row that go nowhere, Bolden comes in or somebody comes in. James White. I want to know what you think about James White this week.
Did you know that LeGarrette Blount ran more passing routes than James White?
Weird. I did not know that. I don't think I wanted to know that. Feels a little dirty. As far as what we think about James White, if Danny Amendola is out, I expect him to have a slightly higher floor, which is not that high. I don't see his upside being. I mean, any Patriot, you can roll them out and think, hey, they might get a touchdown. But this week against the Broncos, I expect a low-scoring affair. So I wouldn't start James White this week. Even without Amendola, I would not like to start him, even in a flex.
And in another note of, I don't think we talked about this, Brandon LaFell, a guy who we've all been pretty high on since he came back, and this might be just a Bill Belichick game flow situation. At the beginning of last week's game, he was playing behind Dobson and Harper. He was not getting the snaps until Dobson went down. Then he was in on basically every single snap. Like I said, I don't know if that was a game flow thing. Now maybe that's irrelevant because Aaron Dobson is expected to miss. But it was an interesting thing that I saw that are they losing trust in Brandon LaFell?
No.
It was just that one game.
Yeah, that's a snap game flow thing. I don't think they're losing trust in LaFell. LaFell had big catches in this game.
Yeah, after the injury and because he was forced into action.
He had a catch before that. He was being targeted a little bit. I don't have any problem with LaFell. I like him a lot. He was in consideration for the start of the week. So
You have him ranked 26th.
yeah,
Okay.
Not bad.
Are you saying that's bad?
Yeah. For a start of the week.
Wide receiver too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say, hey.
I don't think that's bad.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, for a guy that hasn't started much all year for people, Gronkowski, you're starting. What do you think of Vernon Davis? Would you rather play Vernon Davis than? Let me see here.
Vernon Davis or Owen Daniels?
Vernon.
Okay.
Vernon Davis or Richard Rodgers?
Davis.
Vernon Davis or Heath Miller?
Ooh.
Davis.
Miller.
Oh, hell, Heath Miller's got a
Miller.
good matchup.
Vernon Davis or Benjamin Watson?
Benjamin
Watson.
Watson.
All right, guys, we've reached the final game. You can now see why we cut these into 2 shows.
Sweet
the
mercy.
Ravens take on the Browns, and we're done with that one. All right, so the mailbag. No, the Ravens-Browns Monday Night Football. We talked about it. Schaub, McCown, Javorius. I'm going to make a prediction right now. I'm going to move Javorius Allen down.
Ooh.
I'm going to move him down. My rankings today, I'm going to make a note right now. Move down.
Off of what?
Off of the fact that they're not going to give him the workload you expect.
And why is that changed?
Because Justin Forsett has been injured, and so he's not just coming in relief of Forsett, and they're going to involve another running back whose name is difficult to pronounce, but I think it's like Mosfert?
Raheem Mostert?
Mostert. Yes.
I'm guessing on the.
He had a very good preseason. He was a very good player in preseason, and it's just a matter of you have to have rotational players.
Yeah,
I that
agree.
team has done rotations in the running back position all year long, and then they just keep getting hurt.
So
yes, they've done rotations.
I don't see Buck Allen getting less than 15 carries, and that's a good amount of workload against the Cleveland Browns.
Don't disagree with you.
Okay,
but I'm moving him down from the expectations of being a top 5 guy this week, like you have him.
Oh, okay, well that's fine.
In
if
fact,
you want to move
I
him
will
out of your
say-
top 5.
I will move him out of the top 10. Would you like to bet on the top 10, Buck Allen?
Top 10 Buck Allen? I absolutely do.
Waterbed.
I just got a feeling about him. All right,
Your feeling is based off a guy who did not make the final 53.
that's fine. You're correct. Duke Johnson. I'm okay starting Duke Johnson. I'd flex him out. I'm doing so in several leagues. I think he's better with McCown. I think we've seen that. I think Duke Johnson is one of the few weapons that they have. Now, Benjamin was a start of the week this week.
Yeah, I like Travis Benjamin.
And Gary Barnidge is if you're a Barnage owner, you're happy about McCown being back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Barnage, it might have seemed too silly. Oh, whoa, what? Jason's throwing his headphones off. What is going
This
on?
has to be something to do with our league.
What happened?
What did you do wrong? Let me see. I'm going to take a look.
You know exactly what I did wrong. Oh, my gosh.
No, I don't, because I'm not looking at our
I'm
league. What did
so
you do wrong?
upset.
The people need to
He
know.
didn't do anything.
The people need to know.
Wait a minute. Am I in a different league? Tell me I'm so I had this terrible decision that
You didn't do anything.
racked you guys. I racked you guys with
Oh,
yesterday.
I
I
think-
ended up doing nothing. I had to essentially drop 2 players off of my team to pick up Ahmad Bradshaw as a handcuff for Frank Gore. I looked and looked and looked for news about Frank Gore. Well, news just came out now that Frank Gore wasn't practicing today on Wednesday. So I really need to have Ahmad Bradshaw on my team. I chose not to do it, and then I just looked and saw that he was on a roster, not still in the free agent pool, which was what I was banking
That
on.
was a different league.
But it was a different league.
Oh.
So
I wouldn't read too much into the not practicing today at all.
I'm not reading too much into it. What I'm reading into it is that his injury is at least worthy of having the handcuff who is valuable should Frank Gore miss. That's it.
Did you expect Gore to practice today?
I did.
Oh, okay. I would not have
I
expected
expect
that.
him at least to be a limited participant in practice.
I got you.
So
Okay.
back to the
That
attention
explains
that
that.
Travis Benjamin deserves.
Sorry.
Travis Benjamin. Oh, we were on Gary Barnage actually, and yes, if you are a Gary Barnage owner, you have to sigh some relief because Josh McCown was a much better option of throwing to the barnyard. Whatever there's been about 20 nicknames for him. Maximum Barnage. That's the one I like.
Barnyard dog.
Burner.
Yeah, it keeps going.
So you have to be happy that Josh McCown is back.
Okay, guys. Crockett Gilmore, start of the week for Jason in that game.
Betty Crockett Gilmore.